Hey guys, it's Jen with Card Zen by Jen. Thank you for joining me for another card. This one could almost be considered a 5-minute Manic Monday card. It is pretty quick. Once you get all of the pieces cut, it is a pretty quick card. It is featuring the relaxing Waterside. This comes with, you can get this as a suite of products, which would be the stamp set, the dies, the paper, and some trinkets. These trinkets are so stinking cute. Aren't they cute? Currently sold out of the trinkets, but they're coming back in very soon. And if you did not know, Stampin' Up! Has a new feature. If you're interested in a product and it is currently unavailable, you can ask them to email you whenever it comes in. I'm so glad that they made that update. It works like a charm. I've been able to get a lot of stuff that I was waiting for right away before it sells out again. So, Relaxing Waterside has this really cute Adirondack chair, has the seagull, the grass, has a book, coffee, and I love it. It says, relax, here's to a new chapter. Dad, happy Father's Day, and today is your day. So it works for a lot of stuff. The dies will cut out your stamped Adirondack chair, or you can make your own Adirondack chair or regular chair out of the dies. Also cuts out these, I don't know what these are called, these cattails. I was always told they were cattails, but I have no idea. But they'll cut out that, the book, the cup of coffee also. And for today, we are going to be just using the one that's going to cut out, actually we're not, we're going to be using the one that cuts out the stamped Adirondack chair. So I'm going to grab that now, but we're also going to be using the ones that cut out the stamped grass, which is going to be this one and this one. And we'll put the rest aside for a moment. So let me show you this designer series paper that you can get with this. This is absolutely beautiful. They started doing this, and what you can do is you make your first cut here, and then you're going to make your second cut here, and then just cut apart your pieces from there. But you can see how you can get some really great designs with this. There's some wonderful images, some landscape designs. That would be great for card making, decor, or for scrapbooking, sorry. So the B side of this is these lovely stripes, and we are going to be using the B side today. So you'll want to keep one of those out. And then we have the fish. Now my husband is an avid fisherman, and that's where he is actually right now, out fishing, which gives me a nice quiet house to do a video with. So we are going to be using this paper as well. This is the fish. On the other side of this are waves. So you're going to want to keep one of these pages out. I love this. These bicycles are just adorable. These are the old time bicycles, and they make some great cards and some little feature items on a scrapbook page. The other side of that are the seagulls. And then you have the whole page of seagulls going from the top left to the bottom right. This would be great as a scrapbook page, to be able to use this kind of behind the scenes as a scrapbook page. You would get that flow coming the whole way through. You can also cut this into pieces. I've seen this used in lots of ways. I love this pattern. I don't know what it is about this pattern, but I just love this pattern. It's really pretty. And then we have the buoys and life preservers. This reminds me of when we went up to the Northeast on a cruise, and we went someplace that has a lot of lobster fishing and crab fishing. And I remember there was a building that had these buoys hanging all over the side of the building right along the shore. It was just gorgeous. There are no dies that cut these out in the set, but you can fussy cut them and use them on your cards. The other side of this is just this white wood grain. I have seen people take this, cut this at different lengths, add a little bit more darkness to the lines, the middle lines, and make this into like like you would have like like the remnants of a pier on the beach, and then sit that seagull on top of it. So I'm anxious to try that myself. And then the last one are the life preservers and the oars. Again, there's not a stamp set that cuts these out, but they're super easy to fussy cut, or a die set, I'm sorry. But they're super easy to fussy cut, and they look great on cards. The B side of that is just a striped design. So let's go ahead and put that aside for a second. I am going to be bringing in my paper trimmer. I don't always do this. Usually I will pre-cut all of my stuff, but for this particular card, I need you to see how the card base is going to be. So this is a cut version. Oops, I got two pieces there. So this is the cut version of the card base, and it's going to go in a landscape, and I've cut off a part of it because it's going to be used along the front. But let me show you how I did this. So the first thing that I want to do is put my blade down, put my cutting blade down. I just want to score right now. So on the paper trimmer, this light colored one is just your scoring blade. It will not cut your paper unless you're using thin paper and you push too hard. So I want to go ahead and score that at 5.5, and then we're going to turn it portrait, and I'm going to come up to the 4.25, and then I'm going to bring back in my paper trimmer, and I'm going to cut that at 4.25. So now I have two pieces that are 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5. I then want to take my piece, and the score marks, of course, in the center. I'm going to cut 2 3/4 off the edge of this. 2 3/4. Okay. Now, I'm using every piece of this. There is no waste. Oops, there is no waste other than the part that flies away. So when I make my card, I will have this piece, and then this is going to be my front piece that is going to go right across there like that on my card. So nothing gets wasted. Out of one sheet of paper, one sheet of cardstock, you can make 2 card bases. So let's go ahead and put this aside for right now. I am going to show you the other pieces I do already have cut somewhere. There we go. Okay, so remember I told you about that DSP. We are using the fish, and we are using that blue stripe. Now, both of them get cut to the same dimensions. They are 4 inches wide. Well, this one's 4 inches wide by 2.5 inches height. And it is going to go here. If you can just kind of visualize this for a hot second. This is going to go here. Now, your striped piece is the same. It's 2.5 by 4, but it is going to go this way. So you'll want to make sure that your stripes are going up and down. So it's really going to be 4 inches high, 2.5 inches wide. So same dimensions, different, oh my goodness, one's portrait, one's landscape. So just make sure that you have your designs going the right direction. So we already have this piece. Now we have our DSP. If you follow the link over to my website, you will get written dimensions. Do not worry about having to keep track of this. You will get written dimensions. So don't need that piece. We also added in a piece of Mossy Meadow, and this is going to be 4 1/8 by 2 5/8. And this is just going to sit right behind our fish piece, just to kind of bring out that Mossy Meadow out of the fish. And then we have our piece for the inside, the sentiment. This is going to be somewhere. I'll find it. This is going to be 4 by 2.5. 4 by 2.5. You're also going to need a piece of white to stamp your dies, or I'm sorry, to stamp your weeds on, whatever they're called. Let me see. So we need to stamp this and this, and then we're going to stamp this onto a piece of pecan pie. The only other pieces that we need then are going to be just a small white piece rectangle, and then a small mossy meadow rectangle for the sentiment. So let's set those aside for just a second. Let's see if we can get some things out of the way here. Let's go ahead and glue our fish DSP down onto the mossy meadow mat. And of course I have it stuck. This is what I get for not testing it right before I started. It worked 2 hours ago. All right. All right, so we're gonna put our fish DSP and we're going to mat it. Just a very small lip of that mossy meadow is gonna show out from behind. It doesn't, you don't see a lot of it, but you see enough of it. And then we're gonna add this to our smaller piece of Night of Navy cardstock. There we go. We're gonna take our striped piece. Let's go ahead and burnish this here real quick though. Make sure this stays down. There we go. We're gonna take our Night of Navy, the side piece here, and our stripes. Make sure your stripes are up and down. And we are gonna add some glue and stick that down. This card really is simple. Now, when you adhere this piece to the front, make sure you are only putting glue on the left-hand side. And we're going to center that as best you can. There we go. Oops, I moved it. Oh, good heavens, it's been a day. Okay, so we made sure that we only added glue to the left-hand side so that our card will open up correctly. Now, let's get some ink out here. We are using Early Espresso, and we are using Mossy Meadow, and we are using Night of Navy. So let's start with our Early Espresso. And I have a small piece of, wherever I put it, I have a small piece of pecan pie. So let's grab a block and I'm gonna grab our Adirondack chair. It's kind of a big stamp, so you may not be able to fit it onto your D size block. You may need to move up to this next block, which is a size, I should know this, but I don't know what size. Size E. This is a size E block. There we go. So we're just going to ink this up and make sure you get down nice and firm. And there's our Adirondack chair. And we're gonna die cut this in just a minute, but before we do that, let's bring our other stuff. I'm gonna set it aside for a second. Let's get our other stamping done. So we have our grass, whatever that is, grass. Let me get a piece of scrap white. I always keep pieces of white in a bin over here because I always seem to have just extras of white, and there's no need to throw them away if you don't have to. There's no need to throw them away. So I don't need the Early Espresso any longer, so we'll set that aside. Let's bring in the Mossy Meadow. So I'm going to, I didn't do that very well, did I? There we go. going to ink up the taller piece of grass first, and we're going to stamp that on the basic white. And then we are going to put our smaller piece on a block, and we are going to put that on the basic white as well. And then let's go ahead and come in with our mini embossing machine and cut those pieces. Now you're probably thinking that this is why you like it whenever on my videos I typically have all of this cut for you, and I don't do this on video. And you're probably thinking, crazy woman, why didn't you do that this time? But you know, it's a beautiful day out, 70-degree weather, nothing else to do. May as well take our time, right? All right, so we're gonna bring this right through. The mini embossing machine is great. Anything under 3 inches wide will fit in that. And it's nice just to be able to pull it out if you're going scrapbooking, retreating, or if you're gonna go crafting, any of that. It's nice and easy just to take along with you, which is nice. Okay, let me line this up. Try not to get my head in there. You can use washi tape. Oh, I knew I was going to do that. I was going to say, you can use washi tape. I also found another tape that works great for this. Let me show it to you. It is called Wall Safe from Scotch. And it is great at holding some of your dies as well. Let me just get that lined up and I'll show you how that works. Just come right across there. It'll stay in place. And we will put that through. I apologize that I am jiggling you. Because it is considered wall safe, it comes off super easy. So that's my new trick tape to use for die cutting. Scotch's Wall Safe. I feel like I should get royalties on that. Okay, so the last one we're gonna do is the Adirondack chair. Make sure I get that lined up. Through. Oops. It's hard to do it at this angle. Doesn't help that my left shoulder is on the fritz right now too, so all kinds of stuff going on these days. Don't get old. My goodness, got stuck on there. Okay, so I'm gonna put away my mini. I don't need this any longer, so I'll put that away. And what else we got going on here? So let's go ahead and do some stamping. I have this small rectangle that I'm going to stamp on, and then it's going to get matted onto our Mossy Meadow. I'm going to stamp that in Night of Navy. I think I'm going to stamp the Relax. Let me see. I'm debating whether I want to do Have a Great Birthday and then Relax on the inside. I think that's what I'm going to do this time. I've done several of these in several different ways. So let's do have a great birthday. Oh, I got stuff all over that from the last card. Let's get that fixed. There we go. Okay. All right, so get some Night of Navy on there and have a great birthday. Perfect. We are going to mat this onto our other piece of Mossy Meadow. And then this is going to go right down in that lower right-hand corner. And then we are going to situate our chair kind of at the corner. You're going to need some dimensionals for this. Let's put some dimensionals on the back of our chair. Yes, I throw my dimensional backings on the floor. When my husband comes up here, he just shakes his head. But it makes it look like I was very busy. I think that's what I go for. It's kind of like, you know, the lady in the bakery that's got flour all over her, all in her hair and everything. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. He thinks I was very busy. All right, so I'm gonna put this down with just some glue in this lower right-hand corner. I'm gonna take my small thing of weeds. I gotta come up with a better name with this. Weeds does not do it. So the grass, and that's gonna go behind my chair right there. And then we are going to, let me see if I can get this in here. That's perfect, okay. Just add some glue to the bottom of this. And we are gonna stick this right down in. Got that a little too close. We're just gonna stick this right down in. Voila. So it's not covering up your words, but it's just tucked right in there. I got that one dimensional over further than I like. Come on, let go. If I can get it to move. There we go. There we go. That's what I, oops, now that I moved it again, that's what I was looking for. And now I'll stick another dimensional back there because I just messed that up. All right, perfect. Fix that. There you go. That's how I want it to look. Now, the inside, we are going to keep out our Night of Navy. This is going to be the inside piece, and it's going to go right behind this other piece so that you won't see it from when the card is closed, and then they'll open it and see it. So again, we stamp before we stick. Always, we stamp before we stick. Let me clean this one off and we'll just use this again. Okay, so let me load up the relax. Oops, the relax on the block. That's still too wet. There we go. Okay. And I'm just going to put that right in the middle at the top. And I still have the grass. So let me bring back in that mossy meadow. And I'm going to put the grass down in the corners. And I think I can fit, I think I can fit this one too. Perfect. There we go. So I know that we didn't use the trinkets on this. I'm gonna try to come up with another design and use those trinkets because I can't wait to use them. Apparently they are much loved since they are sold out right now. This suite of product is $68.75 in the US. That includes those trinkets. If you decide that you don't want the trinkets and you want to buy it separately, it's less than that. And you can get the dies, the stamp set as a bundle, and then you can buy the paper separately as well. So how's that? What do you think? So be sure to follow me on Facebook. It's Stamping with Card Zen by Jen. Just ask to join the group. I will let you in, and you'll get some tutorials there. Also, my website is cardzenbyjen.com. You will see the link to my blog for the tutorial for this card so that you can download the tutorial as well, and you can get a list of the written dimensions, which makes it easier to follow along. So I hope you liked it. I absolutely am enjoying the relaxing Waterside. I am a water baby, so anything that has to do with water, I am there. So I hope you have a great rest of the day. Happy stamping, and I will catch you on the next one.